deal.
In a world of uncertainty and chaos, there are forces that want to see you trapped. Trapped in a prison of depression, anger, bitterness, hopelessness, and fear. It seems as if there is no way out. But there is one man who has the key to your freedom. He can free you from the ultimate prison, the prison of hell. Oh, and this is unlimited. Come to Annabecker Park, Saturday, March 18th, 2017 at 3 p.m. and learn how you can be set free. I win. That little video is something I put together for an outreach that we're putting on at Annabecker Park this Saturday. It's an outreach because, to be honest, guys, there's too much hurting and people feel trapped in all these vices of the world that lie to them. There's going to be a couple of us youth groups putting things on. There's going to be a musical guest. Please don't be offended, but the musical guests are Christian hip hop artists. So if that's not your style of music, I apologize. I have to apologize in advance if that's not your style of music. But these guys are awesome guys. I love them. I've dealt with them on a couple of occasions. With that being said,
At what time?
starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There will be hot dogs.
Well, you can always get a crowd with food.
Exactly. There's also going to be a bounce house, so that gets crowds too.
Be good, it's still light, I don't come out after dark.
Yeah, it's still going to be light. You notice, real quick, speaking of still being light, I noticed we still have a decent crowd here, even though daylight savings, we sprung forward.
Yes.
We all woke up on time.
Well, the good news is, if you forgot to set your clock, you'll show up for an invitation.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering if we're just going to have a second service just for those who forgot to set their clock. Possible?
Could be.
All right, any birthdays or anniversaries this week?
Yeah.
Yay! Happy birthday. Oh, anniversary. Where's your Rich is backing away now.
Did you have an anniversary
How many
when you
years?
lost your husband?
24 years. You want to take another candy for him?
Please, please.
You can eat it if you want, since he's not here.
There he comes.
Oh, here he comes.
Come on, Marvin.
Marvin, she already got your candy.
Reese's.
Reese's. I like Reese's.
All right.
Birthday, Graham.
I don't think there's any paydays left. Those are Snickers.
All right. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody else? No? Okay.
Army don't have one this week.
Arlie doesn't have one this week.
Not this week.
Come on, Arlie, you're falling behind here. If you don't have a bulletin, Janet and Jaden have bulletins for you. Just raise your hand and they will get one to you. We have a few things to note in the bulletin. Of course, the Set Me Free, we already we watched the video for that. Young Lives Ablaze, if you want your 3rd through 6th grade, right, Kim? 3rd through 6th grade, see Kim to sign up, it's $30 per child. We have the church directory almost completed. Please check on the table by the offering box. Make sure your information is correct. If it is not correct, please write on there what the correction needs to be so we can get the correct information in the directory. There's a couple of people that have their own announcements. Casey, you said you had something?
I do.
I'll let Casey have first.
I do. We have so many folks still missing. You know, we got illnesses, flus, pneumonias, people that are just not feeling good in the last few weeks. Seemingly, we're in the midst of something going around. So that's something for us to be praying about, is praying about all of our people that are not feeling good now. But I wanted to just do a reminder about that. On your bulletin, on the sheet that says prayer requests for the header at the top, there at the bottom, you can fill out prayer request things. You can send prayer requests to me. They'll get sent out to Peaches to be shared. If you have a situation that needs some prayer, and we got a big group of people that get on those, then let us know. Don't be shy about it. Let the church know if there's something that we can be praying about. Also, in that same regard, on the same sheet of paper, just on the back side, it says Good News Corner. If something is going on in your life that you kind of want to brag on God about, tell us. Let us know. Put some news in there, something that God has blessed you with, something that you want to just share. And what Connie's been doing is publishing those and putting those into the bulletin there on that center section. Please do that. Fill those out, either the prayer request side or the good news side, and put those in the tithe and offering box. Wayne picks those up, and then we get those published. We let folks know what's going on. Folks know what's going on that we're blessed, or folks know when it's time to pray. Either way. But please take advantage of that. Use that.
You know, speaking of your good news, I do have a bit of good news.
What's that?
Last week I wasn't here because my little boy had to go to the hospital because of the flu and everything going around. They released him and he is bouncy and happy and bouncing off the walls again. So, she came up forward. I'm scared now. I thought I made your announcement. Uh-oh.
Hey. Tonight starts the Esther Bible Study, 6 o'clock. We have a lot of women signed up. I think we had 33 women sign up. Please be here tonight. We're going to have a good time of fellowship and learning what the Bible has to say specifically to women. The other thing, on the registration for Young Lives, the deadline is the 24th, I believe, 26th. So please, give me your registration so I can get them in and we can get all the kids signed up. And finally, we're about 2 months away from Vacation Bible School, and I still need some help. If anybody wants to help lead a young group, do an activity, do the games, please let me know. We've got to get started on that.
I got a youth group full of people that are willing to help.
I have an idea for them too.
Uh-oh.
Can
Yes,
I say something?
yes, Miss Sam.
I
A lot of people can't hear.
I don't need a microphone. I just want to say what a wonderful church family we have. I had a dire need of someone to help me with car problems, and this gentleman came the first time, and that didn't work. It wasn't his fault. It just, just I needed a new battery, but that gentleman over there came on Monday and spent a long time with me. Took me down to a portable tire, and they replaced my battery and everything. So God is so good. We have such a wonderful, wonderful church family. All of our family, okay? Love you all.
One more quick announcement, and we will get our children's sermon going. Grant told me that they need some help for the balloon rally again this year. They need balloon chase crew people to help take down the balloons. It's always fun to go chase hot air balloons. You know, sit there with your head in the clouds, sitting head out the window. So if you want to help out with that, just see Grant. Grant's about what time?
You want me to get up there and talk about it?
I guess you can.
Sure. I can just do it from here. We're gonna have the 33rd annual St. Patty's Day Balloon Rally this coming weekend. We'll start at Friday morning with a VIP media event with about 15 balloons. Smokey Bear will be there, and a couple other balloons will be there for special shapes. We'll need some crew to help us on that morning. If you're gonna come out on Friday morning, doesn't matter what age you are, if you just wanna come out and just look at this stuff, it's free to the public, there's no cost. If you wanna get involved, you can get involved at whatever level you want to. It doesn't matter what age you are, except the youngsters can't do it. We gotta be careful about that. But we're gonna have special things for this weekend with Bill Chappell, a good friend of ours that had Friends of Smokey the Bear and brought this program into being 25 years ago. Had been my lifelong friend. He passed away a couple of weeks ago. So we're gonna have a special event. We're gonna let off on Saturday morning about 100 different colored balloons in his memory. And we're donating all of our proceeds from all of our sales of t-shirts and pins and different things to the Friends of Smokey Bear. So that's going to be our designated charity this year. But we invite all of you to come out and help us. You know, I've been flying for 37 years. I started when I was 6, so don't worry. But we have Saturday morning, if you can't make it on Friday, we're going to have about 65 balloons, 8 or 10 special shapes, including the old lady in the shoes, Smokey Bear, and a couple of others that we're not going to disclose yet because they haven't given me a final word. But you come out about, you need to be out here about 6:30 to 7 o'clock at the latest so we can get this launch going. And again, if you want to volunteer, and if you do volunteer for some of these events, we can perhaps get you rides at some point. If you want to take a ride, we've got a lot of balloons that don't have sponsors on them. We give balloon rides too. But the kids are all going to get a special Smokey Bear t-shirt for crewing with whoever they crew with. It's just going to be part of the deal. And it's an exciting part of the thing is to get the youth involved and the older people involved in something that's a lot of fun to do. And this is your chance once a year to come and do this things with us. So 7 o'clock both days will be a good time. It's free to the public. There's no cost to get in, no cost to park. And we just love to see you there. Thanks.
Amen.
All right, there's no other announcements this morning. Let's go ahead and pray. Miss Debbie, I think you have the children's sermon this morning. Heavenly Father, we thank you for our church family. How we can band together and serve you so that you can have all the glory and we can continue to be part of your work and your plan. Be with our children as they come forward. Speak to them. Allow us as the adults of this church to raise them. Raise them in your ways, Lord. Bless Casey and his words, that they be your words to teach us. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Children, you're welcome to come forward.
Good morning.
Sorry.
So isn't it a glorious day? Every day that we have to, you know, before I even go there, let me tell you about my morning. Okay. I got up this morning and went into the bathroom and I stubbed my toe on the wall. We've got this little small bathroom. You know, it's got all the stuff you need in the bathroom, but it's little. And you know, you've seen those bathrooms on HGTV that are huge. They're full. You go in and it's like, a big tub and a shower. I wish I had one of those. It would be really nice. I mean, really, it would be nice. You know, it's kind of a bummer that I don't have one of those. You know, and look at my water bottle. It's almost empty. Can you? And I mean, we can go to the water fountain in there and fill up, but the water tastes a little funny. It doesn't taste like my water at home. My water at home, I've got this water filter, and it cleans it. It's really nice. I wish we had one of those here at church, because what are so funny here? You know, I mean, so, you know, and while we're here, my job, let me tell you, I have to drive 45 minutes to Albuquerque and then work all day and then drive 45 minutes back. And I get so tired. It's a bummer. It's a total bummer. And, well, I don't know. I'm not even going to go to politics, okay? Because that's a whole other issue. Just not even go there. So where was I? Oh, yeah. It's a glorious day, right? Every day that we have to praise God is a glorious day. So was I praising God so much? What was I doing? Very good. I'm supposed to be thankful I have a job. I was whining and complaining. You know, the whole bathroom thing, you know there are 1 billion people in the world who don't have access to a potty. I mean, that's disgusting. So whatever we have, we need to kind of be thankful for, right? You know there are over 700 million people who don't have access to clean water. They have to drink from, you know, like the Rio Grande type or even worse. Yeah. You think about how blessed we are. I mean, it's easy to focus on the negative stuff, isn't it? It is. It's harder to focus on the positive. We have to decide that. It's something that's really in our hearts that it's just easy to get sucked into the negative. We have to decide that, yeah, you know, God really is good. He really has blessed us a lot. Huh. And what does the Bible say about grumbling and complaining? Yeah, it's not good. Philippians 2:14, do everything without grumbling or complaining. Don't grumble against your brother. That's in James. There's always room to improve things, but perhaps we could do it a little better. Encourage each other. Lift each other up. Say nice things to each other. Compliment each other. I don't think that negativity and condemnation and grouchiness draws people to God, does it? No, it's the love. It's the love that draws people to God. You think about your parents at home. What do they do? You know, they're probably working hard, trying to take care of you. And are you kind of being grouchy with them and unthankful? No? Good job. Yeah, it's easy to fall into that. And we're the same way with God. We think about, oh man, there's so much negative stuff. Instead of focusing on the positive and thanking Him, because He's so good to us. So let's just remember that, okay?
Let's all pray real quick. Father, we do thank you. You are so wonderful to us. You bless us so much beyond our wildest belief. Things we never even see. Father, we do ask for blessing on the children. We thank you for this teaching to help reminding us to be grateful, to not complain about everything. Just bless us with your presence, Father. We pray that service is glorious and honorable to you. And that we constantly thank you for all of those. We pray in Christ's name, Father. Amen.
If anyone wants a treat, I got some treats. I got treats. I have God-made treats for God-made children. Carrots, cucumbers.
That begins with a G, so they're good.
And we need all the help we can get.
Good morning. Morning. Now, if you got your Bible, we're going to be looking at Deuteronomy. I told you last week that we're going to be talking about the Ten Commandments. And I really want to kind of get going here. I don't plan on keeping you any later than 3 o'clock, so let's get going really fast.
Yeah, all right.
Well, I'm used to school time. School time, they have that 3 o'clock bell, so the time until 3 was always mine. But we're going to be looking at Deuteronomy. If you got your Bible, it's Deuteronomy 5, 8 through 10. And the question that I want you to be thinking about is, what do you worship? What do you worship? And you're right. If you got things correct, it's not necessarily a what, it's a who. We're going to be looking at Deuteronomy, so if you've got your Bible, let's start reading. Deuteronomy 5, 8. Let me get my backup working. Ooh, come on. Ooh. Deuteronomy 8 says, "You must not make for yourselves an idol of any kind, or an image of anything in the heavens, or on the earth, or in the sea. You must not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God." Forgot that deep. Jealous God, who will not tolerate your affection for any other gods. We're familiar with the Ten Commandments. And this idea of God telling us not to make an idol is probably familiar to us. But my question that I asked you is, what do you worship? And if you're right that it's not a what, it's a who, then you're at least in the right ballpark here, so to speak. But it makes me worry that in today's society, that we don't understand that God is our God to worship, with no other taking his place. And we're not living in the time of Moses. We're not the Canaanites. We're not Egypt. I don't think that the gods that they were referring to here are necessarily prevalent in our society. But what is it that our society does worship? Has been what I've been thinking about this week. What is it that we do worship? Do we worship ourselves? Could be. Did you know that in 15 years, from 2000 to 2015, gym membership increased. Gym membership, like here in Los Lunas, we have Planet Fitness. Gym membership increased. In 2000, 33 million people had gym memberships in the United States. In 15 years, that had increased to 55 million. 2/3 increase in 15 years. Do we worship ourselves? It's possible. Our society, you look at magazine covers, you look at what people consider it as beauty, and you think about all of the beauty products that sell. You go to Walmart, whole big section of beauty products. Maybe we are worshiping ourselves a little bit. Another thing that made me think that maybe we worship, our homes, our finances, our cars, our possessions. Do we worship things, stuff, money? Do we do that? Let me give you an interesting statistic. In 1973, the average home in the United States, average home was 1,600 square feet. Okay? 1,600 square feet. So I want you to picture that. I know that's a math thing. If you're a 7th grader, you understand square feet, but if you've already got years past 7th grade, square feet, think of a house. 1,600 square feet. 40 years later, the average square footage of a house had increased to 2,600 square feet. And here's the craziness. Our families are actually getting smaller. When I grew up, it was a kind of a famous statistic. The American household was 3.8 people. Have you heard that? Am I the only one? There's always 3.8 people, which of course always lends itself to the question, which one of you is that 0.8? I want to know. Which one of you is missing 2/10? Some of you is a little off. In Arlie's house, we don't need to ask that question. We can understand it. But it always made me wonder about point 8. Well, here's the craziness. Our homes have gotten bigger in the last 40 years by 1,000 square feet. Comes out to like 69%. Our houses have grown 69%. But the craziness is that our family size, the average household size, has decreased. It's no longer 3.8. It's down to 3.2, which maybe, Arlie, there's your missing 2. There you go. But do we worship our stuff? You know, think about cars. Think about bank accounts. Think about fishing boats or whatever it is. Do we worship stuff? Kim told me one that hits a little close to home. She said, well, look in your closet. You got a lot of Dallas Cowboys stuff. You got a lot of logos. Half of my wardrobe is all logos, you know. It's either blue or red kind of stuff. But she said, if you're going to be talking about that, then is that something that people worship? Do we worship sports, maybe? Well, this idea of what we worship was really mulling over in my head this week until I read the rest of this commandment. We're familiar with this commandment. This is not the first time you have noticed this commandment. Connie, I know, has gone through with her finger mnemonic of remembering commandments. I know we've heard about this. This is one of those childhood things. You've heard about this. No idols. But what we're less familiar with, and it's crazy because it's back to back right there in your Bible if you're looking at Deuteronomy. This is Deuteronomy 8 and then the beginning of 9. Take a look at what it says immediately after. The second half of 9 says, I lay the sins of the parents upon their children. The entire family is affected, even children in the 3rd and 4th generations of those who reject me. But I lavish unfailing love for 1,000 generations on those who love me and obey my commands. Amen. This command comes with a consequence. Do not worship idols. Don't make any idols. God should be number 1 in your life. And if that order is reversed, here's the consequence. I lay the sins of the parents upon their children. The entire family is affected, even children in the 3rd and 4th generations of those who reject me. And at first this week when I saw that, it made me think, that's just not right. There's something wrong there. If a parent is doing something that they shouldn't be doing, the responsibility, the consequence, paying itself to that child, doesn't sound right. But then I don't know, I got my teacher side in me, dealing for all these years with children in Belen, and seeing families come through La Merced, families that had children after children after children, and seeing some of those families even return to me. I taught at La Merced long enough to have children who grew up to have their own children to now be my students. So I got the 2nd generation of some of those families in the last few years. And it made me start thinking of our families. If this is the consequence that God's talking about, that if the parents are not putting God first in their lives, that is placed upon their children, it made me start thinking, what are our children's lives like? And it made me think to those families that I saw at La Merced, but then it made me think, I'm a math teacher. I love numbers. I love, like I told you before, numbers help me to understand something, to see how something works. And so it made me think of some numbers. So I want to show you all something. There's an annual report that comes out every year It's New Mexico Children First report. And I want to share you some things about our New Mexico children. If I can get my remote to work. In 2014, there were 500,078 children living in New Mexico. 500,078 children living in New Mexico. Out of those, in 2014, there were 36,774 referrals of child abuse or neglect. 36,000 cases where kids were abused, or at least reports of abuse, went to authorities, CYFD. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, maybe that was just a false report, somebody turned in something that wasn't true. Well, yeah, I'm actually a witness to that. That does happen. But then I found this second number. 20,834 of those were actually investigated reports. So at the bare minimum, 20,000 of New Mexico's children were being abused in some form, some fashion in 2014. 20,000. Well, made me start thinking of some other things. Did you know that in 2014, 2,366 children lived in out-of-home care? Out-of-home care? Foster families. Other situations, maybe institutional places, where children's parents, for various reasons, and various means comes with lots of reasons, 2,366 children, for whatever reason, could not live with their family. 2,366 could not live with their family. Some of those situations may have been a medical kind of thing. I've seen those situations where parents just weren't physically able to take care of those kids. But honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, in my situation, in my background, where I'm coming from, that was a very small percent. If parents were not capable of taking care of those children in that house, it had a whole lot to do with the parents not doing what they needed to do. A lot. That's a lot of children. It's estimated, no one knows for sure exactly, but in 2014 it was estimated that there were 9,000 children from 12 to 17 who were using drugs or alcohol. It's estimated. It could be above or below. 9,000 kids dependent or abusing. That doesn't mean I took a taste, or I did a one-time thing, or I went to a party. It says dependent or abusing. That means continually using the drugs or using the alcohol. 9,000 of our children. For every 15 to 17-year-old girl, for every 1,000 15 to 17-year-old girls, I'm missing part there. For every 1,000 15 to 17-year-old girls, 19 of them are giving birth. 19 out of 1,000. For every 1,000 18 to 19-year-old girls in New Mexico, 66 gave birth. Teenagers, teenage girls having babies. In New Mexico in 2014, there were 5,254 children arrested. And that could be lots of various things, shoplifting, could be lots of things, drug kind of things, some of those other numbers. But out of those, 252 of them were violent crimes. Weapons. Our children hurting other people. Look at these numbers. There is nothing on that screen that says our families are doing well. I'm sorry. And I'm just picking, this week, I read back the last 3 years of these Children First reports. Never in any single year is there some good news. If you work with children, if you work with families, if that's your career or you volunteer, you understand what I'm saying here. Take a look at them. There is nothing good about what I'm showing you. I'm not stating that there is nothing good happening in our family. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that statistically speaking, New Mexico as a whole is doing a bad job with families and especially our children. And that makes me think, if I go back and I look at those verses that we were talking about, I lay the sins of the parents upon their children. The entire family is affected, even children in the third and fourth generations of those who reject me. It makes me think, we might get caught up in political solutions, economic solutions for our children's problems that I was showing you. We might want to have legislature pass laws or people to increase budgets or people to spend in certain ways. But that's not at all what I'm standing up here to talk to you about this morning. I'm not saying that there's a political and economic, that there's a dollar sign solution to any of these problems. I'm saying the problem is here. It's in the Bible. Look, I lay the sins of the parents upon their children. The entire family is affected. If there is something going wrong in New Mexico's families, it can be solved right there with that book that you have right in front of you.
Amen.
It means that our families have gotten away from God.
That's right.
This is, all these numbers that I was showing you, they are signs that we are losing a battle. Our families are suffering the consequences of that loss. And yes, that means that, there are some people missing out on eternity, but there are even some kids missing out on life here in New Mexico.
That's right.
Life in this world, missing out. And I'm putting the blame on what the Ten Commandments say. Who or what do you worship?
That's right.
If your worship is not correct, if it is placing it on money, if it is placing it on jobs, if it is placing it on possessions, that house, that car, our families are suffering. Our families are suffering. I could tell you time and time again, kids come into school at La Merced, torn clothes, shoes whose soles are falling apart, haven't had a clean bath, shower, nothing for days, coming to school, which I'm glad those kids were with me at school. But I walk those kids out, and I put them in vehicles, and I'll tell you now, sometimes I'm loading those kids in brand new dually four-wheel drive pickups or something. We are worshiping things that we should not.
That's right.
And the consequence is on our children. That is not right. What we worship is a consequence, has a consequence. I want to show you another verse. This is in 1 John. You don't need to turn to it. This is the only one I'm going to show you here from John. This is 1 John. This is chapter 5, verse 21. It is the last verse in 1 John. This is John's letter. This is how he closes. And he says, "Dear children, keep away from anything that might take God's place in your hearts."
Yeah. That's right.
If our jobs come first, family suffers. If our bank account comes first, or that car, or that house, or that new, it could be relationships with other people even.
That's right.
Whatever it is, and you can fill in the blank and put lots of things in there. Whatever it is, the consequence is going to be on our children. don't have anything that takes God's place in your heart.
Amen.
It's that simple. Well, I got to tell you, when I was reading that commandment from Deuteronomy, and it really started my head thinking, like I said, I went through this week of a lot of thought, a lot of things that God was trying to show me. And I was telling you, our families need to do better. Our kids are suffering because things are not right. But the bottom line for us right now, today, is something that I want to announce to you. What is it that New Life Fellowship, as a church, as a corporate body, as all of us who are here, or like I said earlier, those that are sick at home today, what can we do to correct the numbers that I was showing you? What can we do?
Change our life.
First of all, we got to worship God. Nothing else.
Amen.
We got to put God as the number one priority in our lives. If we're placing, work hours, if we're placing balance sheets, if we're putting all those kinds of things ahead of God, if they take priority, things are not going to go well. But as a church, I have a plan. I have a vision. God, in the last 6 months, my theme for you all is God's got a plan. You've heard me say that many, many times. And I've also stated that I think God lets us see a little bit of His plans for us as much as we can handle at a time. Maybe we get overwhelmed if we see too much at once. I'm not sure. But let me tell you about the plan I am certain God has for us. Here we are at New Life Fellowship. We've been sitting here since 2003. The church has been here all this time. And since the very beginning, we are a quarter mile away. We could even count yards and feet of how close we are to the largest school in Belen. That high school is literally 2 blocks away from us. All right? What are we as a church doing to help show those students and the staff, everyone that has a connection to that school, the students, the staff, the families, what are we doing as a church to show them God's place of preeminence? What is it that we are currently doing? Not sure. Don't have a good answer for that. I got something that we could do. A few years back, Gene, Tim and Dushan, a couple of other people, were sitting around together and kind of floated an idea that at that time really didn't take off and do kind of what it could have. But I'm certain that now is the time to kind of reinsert this plan. We're here, a few blocks away from the biggest school in Belen. We have children that are coming to that building, just like the stats I was showing you, with criminal records. We got kids who don't have families at home to speak of. They're what used to be called latchkey kind of kids. They're home alone kind of kids. We got kids that don't have food. Their families are so busy spending or not earning or whatever it may be that there's no food in that home, that the only food that they may get is here at the high school. We have families that don't have any Christian kind of support and a hope and even a knowledge coming just 2 blocks away from us. Hundreds of people, students, staff even, I'll throw staff in on that, and definitely families. What could we do about it? In the fall, when school starts over again, New Life Fellowship should help support those kids in a new way. In the fall, when school starts, we should do an after-school kind of program. We should have this building open. We should have children that can leave that campus, come here for a safe place, sometimes going home. We think of home, home should be a safe place.
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you all. For some of those kids, home is the least safe place they have in their lives. We can be a safe place for them. They can come here after school. They can come here and get some food, get a snack, get a whole meal. They can come here and get help with homework. They can come here and learn how to play an instrument. They can come here and just learn about God. And I don't mean to say that last. The last shall be most important, I guess. Last is first. Because that learning about God is what we're called to do with people. We're called to make disciples. Well, we have a whole bunch of future disciples just down the road from us. So here's what I want to do. I want to start, say on a Wednesday, at 2:30, those kids get released. Let's have our folks here to welcome them. Open our doors to get them in. Get them some food. Get them someone that can tutor them. Get someone that can show them how to play a piano. Get them safe and get them in a godly environment where everything that we do shows God's love to them. Apparently our New Mexico families aren't seeing a lot of that at home. But let's do that here. We start once a week. Maybe we see that it's successful, that God's blessing that plan, and we expand it. We do 2, 3, 5 days a week. I don't know. I think that Jean and I need to be on that campus. I think that we need to be present in that cafeteria, talking to kids at lunch, seeing what needs they have, seeing what we can do to help. Maybe just being there to kind of have someone to talk to. Maybe inviting those kids to be a part of the plan here. Whatever it is, I think that's what we should be called to do. And I'm going to tell you all, I'm Casey Goodson. I'm a retired school teacher. I spent 26 years here in Belen. Now I'm standing up here in front of you as a pastor, imagine that, the pastor of New Life Fellowship Church. You all actually voted to take a retired school teacher with no seminary, no other than Sunday school teaching kind of background. Yeah, Casey gets up and maybe he can say announcements and make a few jokes or something. But you chose a teacher, of all things, to be standing here. I am certain, when we say that God has a plan, I am certain that there's a plan why I am standing here.
Amen.
And if it's my background of being a school teacher, let's use it. Let's use it. Those kids and those families, those staff members, for most of them, for a lot of them, they're not unknown names and faces to me. They are kids that I know. They are adults that I've worked with. They are families that in some cases, 20 years ago, were the ones sitting in my classroom. There's a reason God has a plan. And I am certain that this is God's plan for us. Certain of it. Now, what does that mean for you all? For you all, the first and foremost thing is to do what that commandment talks about, what all of them talk about. We're going to put God first. We're going to worship Him. We're going to give priority to Him. It says, don't put anything in your way that's going to take God's place in your heart. Don't put something there in place of God. We're going to put God first in everything that we do. And to be certain and sure of that, we're going to pray. This whole idea that I'm thinking about, this plan that I'm thinking about, and I've talked to a few people already about this plan. This plan that I kind of envision is 6 months down the line. We got 6 months to figure out how we're going to do this. But before we even sit down and do some kind of plan to get some decisions made, the very first and foremost thing to do is we're going to pray.
Amen.
I'm going to ask you all to pray for this plan. There's a reason that God's got a church 2 blocks away from the biggest school in Belen. There's a reason that God, of all things, put a school teacher as a pastor of that church. There's a reason. So pray and find out what we should do. Now I'm telling you what I have in my mind. And like I said, it kind of started 2 years back and kind of got placed aside. And in the last 6 months, this has really been coming to the forefront of my mind. And in the last month or so, I've been speaking to other people about it and trying to get something more solid in my head other than just my thoughts and make sure that this is God's plan. But I need you to pray for that plan. Pray about what, as a church, we should do. And honestly, I'm gonna put a little bit of work on you all. Pray for what you need to be doing about this plan. If this is God's plan for us, this isn't a Casey's going to go and do everything. Gene's going to go and do everything. No. That's not the way God works. God doesn't say, I'm going to have one person do this. No. If we're going to do this, we're all going to do this. So when I say you need to find out what you're going to do, it's a prayerful thing. You got 6 months. This is what I want you to be praying about. What should you personally do? Should you be tutoring kids? Can you help kids with writing 5-paragraph written essay, introduction, body paragraphs, conclusion? Maybe you're a good writer. Are you good at algebra? You understand X's and Y's and throw in some Z's every once in a while and you're good to go? Maybe you're good at music. We got kids over there that would love to learn something, to be trained to learn something. Maybe you want to come and do some lessons. Maybe you want to come and just bring food. We're going to feed people. I know that there are hungry kids there. Maybe God's put a gift in you of cooking, of prepping food, serving in that way. Whatever it is, I want you to pray about this. I want you to pray about what your place can be for that and what support you can give. And please, don't undercut God in this. It is a huge blessing to be able to serve and help people. And I'm going to be the witness and stand up here and tell you, I'm learning that every day. I've told you about those hospital visits where I worried about going in and what the heck do I have to say? And I come out thinking, oh my gosh, I'm the guy being blessed here. I'm the guy that's receiving something. You can be in that situation. You can be blessed. Don't undercut God and say, oh, I can't do. I don't know anything about teenagers. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, if I can go into a hospital room, you can talk to a teenager, trust me. That ain't going to be hard for you. Don't shortchange God. God can do this. And I'm going to tell you all right now, I am certain this is part of God's plan for us. I just need you to pray about what your part is in this. 6 months from now, and maybe a totally different plan in place than what I've been thinking of in my head, I could be off. And things could change between now and then. But I'm sure that God's plan is better than anything I got rolling around in my brain right now.
Amen.
And I just want to let you all know, find God's plan for that. And let's use it. Let's use it. Look around. Look around. Go ahead. Look around. Look around who's here today. You can turn. Go. I love attention. I never turn away from attention, but look around. We filled out the demographics when we did the pastor search committee. Remember that survey that we talked about? We put people's ages on there. I hate to bring this up for you all. We asked you to report your age. And I hate to say it, but you look at our demographics, and I think the pastor search showed it at one point, what the graph looked like. It was something like 70% of all the people that filled out that information were 60 years old or older. Look around us. It's an older group we have. You have something that those kids are lacking. I'm hoping it's wisdom, man. You read your Proverbs in January, right? So you bring that wisdom in. But you have something that those kids are lacking. You definitely have experience more than they got. And hand, I'm praying that you got more wisdom than they got over there.
Hallelujah.
But please, don't go out of here today. Don't go home. Don't this week, when you read Casey's email on Tuesday, don't think this isn't for you. Don't think, oh, I'm too old, or I finished my time, or it's not for me because of whatever reason you can think of. No. No, no, no. God's plan, and I'm certain this is part of God's plan for us. So pray about it this week. Pray. And what I want you to do is I want you to let me know. If God's telling you that you got a part in this plan, that you can support something, that you can do something, that you can specifically say, hey, I'm a food provider, I'm a musician, I'm a math tutor, I'm a whatever. You're going to come and you're going to tell me. Because I'm going to need to know who is on board with that and who can actually do those kinds of things. Because we got 6 months, but in 6 months' time, that's where we're going to be. So when God lets you in on His plan, you come and tell me. All right? Now, this is not one of those come to Jesus kind of sermons. It's not really preaching to the choir either. This is challenging you all to get up and do something. It really is. So having an invitation, Ted's not really kind of a normal invitation, but if you bring everybody up, I'll pray and we'll do our invitation. But honestly, you got a whole lot more praying to do about this than anything you could do up here at the front. You do? What do you got?
I think this is a real encouraging scripture for what we're talking about right now.
Okay?
Years ago, I must have had a sermon, and my note in the Bible is that God speaks to His people to give us faith to do it, to go forth. And it's Deuteronomy 1:21. See, the Lord your God has placed this land before you. Go up, take possession, as the Lord, the God of your fathers, has spoken to you. Do not fear or be dismayed.
We got land. Let's go take possession of it. We got more than the land. We got the people. But we're going to do an invitation. And just as always, if God is talking to you, and you want to let me know about how God's talked to you, maybe it's a salvation decision, which I've been talking about for a few weeks. Maybe it's something else. Maybe you need to let me know about something that we can pray for you. Maybe it's baptism. Maybe you need to be baptized. A couple people have been talking about baptism this week. Whatever it is, it's still an invitation for you to come and speak to me. But remember, I'm asking you to do more prayer than we do in the next 5 minutes. I'm asking you to pray for this thing for 6 months to know what God's plans are for you. Ted, I'm going to pray and then we'll start.